Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome you to my channel. So today, what I want to do is my own take on the new Project Pack 14. I just couldn't resist it. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it was remiss of me not to mention that earlier on this month, but I really want to take a page out of the Zentangle book and really call awareness to how positive an impact art can have on those that struggle with mental health issues, especially things like depression and anxiety and self-esteem. And those are things that I can promise you are true because they happen to me. Okay, for today, I'm going to work in my Canson Mixed Media sketch pad. It is 7 inches by 10 inches is the one that I'm using. Of course, they come in a lot of different sizes. And in centimeters, that's 17.8 centimeters by 25.4 centimeters. This paper is about 80 pound. I think it's 98 pound paper. And so it takes water and you can do lots of cool stuff. And I love how nice and bright and white it is as well. So in Project Pack 14 on the first day, they have, if you purchase the Project Pack, they have a little booklet with quotes from Maria Thomas. Now, I could not afford to get Project Pack 14, which was absolutely fine. At some point in the future, I may get that. And but I wanted to find a way to sort of honor that today. And so I'm going to work in my sketch pad, and I'm going to show you how we can do that lesson without having the booklet to work in, okay? So I've got another sketch pad set up here, so this one won't drop down too far. That's what you're seeing here. So that's just, yeah, that's what I'm doing. So on the booklet that they used in the Zentangle Project Pack video, and I really recommend you watch Maria go. She's just so inspirational to me. But I'm going to make my own sort of journal page for us. And I'm going to use an original Zentangle tile, which is, I believe, what she had in the Project Pack. And I'm going to use my pencil and make a sort of wiggly line around here. Of course, the edges on the Zentangle tiles are deckled, so you get your wiggly in there, just like that. Wait, let me turn off the autofocus. There we go. Okay, hopefully we won't have any issues. Okay, so once I have that, this is going to be where my quote is going to be. Now, Maria Thomas in her booklet, which of course is all illustrated, and all the quotes came from Maria's collection of quotes, or her quote journal, I think they called it. And the first one was, the one they drew today was called, "Allow your pen to soothe your soul." And I think that was her quote, Maria's quote. And that's a wonderful one. Now, I have my own quote that I want to use, and that is the quote from Henri Matisse, which is "Creativity takes courage." That has been my tagline ever since I started posting my art online. And so that is very meaningful to me, and you guys know that that is true. Now, I'm going to take a phi tile, and I'm going to do my cross lines by following my phi tile, okay? So I just need to edge it up on the bottom, right? And I want this to go, let's see, I want this to go underneath here, so we can do the little magical thing that they did. I think this will work. And you can tilt this or arrange it however you want. Okay, and I'm using phi tile because I want my edges to be deckled and kind of wiggly. And these are long enough to where I can just set them out like this. Now, if you don't have phi tiles, you can use a ruler, whatever you want. You just need some straight lines. And if you are able to make deckled lines like I am, it's a gift and a curse for those of you monk people. You know what I'm talking about. Here we go. And I always overlap it when I do this so that I can make sure that my tile's lined up right. Okay, so let me turn this back. Actually, no, I'm not done here. So I'm going to put in another set of lines here on the inside. And this is where I'm going to do my ribbon tangle. Oops, sorry. Okay. Okay, let's try to line this up. I don't get this going sideways because that is a gift with me, the whole sideways drawing thing. Yep, it is. And, all right. My iPad is hanging out over the paper. It makes it hard for me to see where I'm going. All right, and so I want to make another one. I want a nice wide ribbon down the middle, so I'm going to put this here, I think. Make sure you got enough of that line to make sure you're pointed the right direction. I have lots of little adaptations that require not getting a ruler out, which makes them favorites of mine, right? Okay, this is all we need the tiles for. This is all of the drawing in we're going to do. So, excuse me. I am going to take out, rub out with an eraser my top ribbon line, or my top line here. Okay, and my bottom one. Okay, probably going to take them all out, but I'm wondering, before I do that, I'm wondering how I want to arrange my text. So let's give that a thought really quickly. Now, depending on how long your quote is, you're going to have to arrange yours differently. So I think I will take these other lines inside here out. Though I think I heard Maria say that a lot of times, or maybe it was Molly Hollabaugh, Maria's daughter. I think I heard her say once that if you just draw right on through, and then your lines will be more likely to match up on each side. So that's what I did. And she's right about that, of course. All right, now, so I am going to first figure out how I want to put my text in. So I've got 3 words, and my first word will, of course, go at the top, and it's a long one. And then my other one is going to go down here, and I want this to be a little bigger, I think. Well, let's see if I got these lines straight. Close enough. Not sure how much bigger this is down here. Maybe I should make both of these big. So this part is just sort of tested out, which is why we use a pencil for this. Maybe both of these need to be larger, and this middle section needs to be much smaller. All right, I like that better, sort of with a narrow one. And so I'm going to put the word takes in first. And I think I want this to be aligned on the left for all 3 words because I'm not going to have time to, or I'm not going to have the ability to, or I'm not going to take the time to map these letters out and just make them perfect and center them, and I don't care. Okay? This is supposed to be a journal page, and we're supposed to be inspired by it, not stressed out. So my first word I'm going to draw in is going to be takes. And I'm going to put that pretty close to the top. Pretty close to the bottom. And so I'm going to map it out. This is just going to be pretty bold. Now, I've learned by watching Maria that she always changes up her typeface depending on what she's doing. And so I'm definitely going to try to do that. I don't know if I should leave this the way it is or not. I might rethink that top. Clearly, I'm rethinking it already. Yeah, this is better. We'll just make this a nice thick line. Then my K. So I'm going to be using a technique that some of y'all have seen me do before. It's called faux calligraphy, or at least that's what I call it. And what I do is anytime that when I draw something, I'm going to make a downstroke. So coming towards me, excuse me, that spot is going to be doubled or aura'd or something. Okay. And then here's my S. And I don't want to make this too curvy. Well, I know. But this is the way this goes on text that is curved. And you want to start on the line. It's an echo line. And come back down on the line, right? Like that. And this is still a downstroke, so it would come like this, okay? So you can set your letters up however you like. This is how I'm going to do that word. Now, the other two words I'm going to do in cursive and apply this technique. So that will go something like this. And of course, everyone's cursive is different, so everyone's words are going to look different. All right, so for the cursive part, you cursive this in whatever your natural cursive is. All right. You know, am I getting too small? This needs to go a little higher, I think. So you want them to, I mean, I'm not going to freak out about it, but if you want them to sort of be the same height going across. Right. Can I fit it all in? I cannot. All right, back to the drawing board. This is why I should block them out, but again, I don't care. My first one came out perfectly, so I don't see what the problem is. I was trying harder this time. Make these a little bit shorter. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so not sure about this V. And I used to do V's when I actually wrote in cursive. Okay, close enough. All right, and then I'm going to apply this faux calligraphy thing to this too. So every downstroke, right? Take off from the line, do a little echo line, land on the same line, right? It's the exact same way I do my chop as well. So technically this is a downstroke, right? And so you can do that or not. So this goes up. This is technically a downstroke, but I think that gets it muddy. So here's my next one. So what I do, just like that, okay? Now you can go like that as well. It just, you know, entirely up to you. So upstroke, downstroke. Okay, upstroke, and then I get to the top and I go down again. So this is a this is going to be a downstroke. And it doesn't have to be perfect with the pencil. This erases, right? So we come up here and then we're coming down again. Right? And you can do that or not. Here, I just make a little line over and bring those down and back up. All of these, same treatment. Right? Tivity. Worst thing is to spell your stuff wrong while you're drawing it and then discover it later. So like this, and then up, down, and up. Okay, so that's how that works. It's not hard. You just have to take your time and go through it. And so down here, I'm going to do the same thing. I just found the flaw with my thing here is I shouldn't have come down so far because I want my G to be complete. So let me come up a little further here. Give this another shot. So we're not quite so low. Well, it's something like that. I may change it up at some point, but then I'll put my little H Matisse down here, if I can fit it in. Like that. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, Henri Matisse was a celebrated artist from France. All right. Okay, now to get busy with the drawing. Let me switch out and grab my black PN. Maria used Num Repus in large form on this, and so I think I'm going to start down here on the long section. Okay, so you guys will remember, because we did Num Repus in our last 100 days project. It starts by drawing some, and in this space I'm going to use large shapes. So you start by making S shapes. Not too curvy, but just sort of like this, right? And especially, if I remember correctly, don't come up too far with these. So, right? Yeah. Okay, and so this will have one like this, and then up here at the top I'll just put one in too. Okay, so now the next step is to come from here, and we're going to try to make this look like these two are going to match up. So we're making a, like this. okay? These end up being a little bit like a teardrop shape, right? So moving down here from this same place, we're pointing here. Now in her example, Maria was doing this quite a bit more flat. And again, that is entirely up to you. However you want to make this is fine. You know how I feel about straight lines. Let's try not to get too crazy here. So these don't have to be perfect. Okay. All right. And now we'll get there. I always get confused on the end of this. All right, so coming back down, we're going to do the exact same thing. Yes. So my noom is going to be much more loopy than Maria's, and that's fine. They don't all have to be the same. And Rick and Maria said that more than once on today's video. So you guys should believe me when I tell you that is true. And then over here, River is happily snoozing and ready to share her joy with you. All right, so let me think this through just a second. This comes through, this is over here, and then this is going to come up like that. All right, I think I got it. Now, the part that causes people trouble that's really not hard. I'm going to put an inverted S, so a mirrored S shape that goes like this. Remember, it's like putting a cap on top of this one, putting a cap on top of this one, right? Well, that did not turn out as nearly as well as I wanted, but that's all right. Okay, so cap this one and cap that one. Don't do them separately. It runs the flow of that. Yes. And then down here, that one was truly a cap. All right, and then let's go back up here and let's make some little triangles off of the ends and ink those in. Okay. Triangles on the outside edges. This looks very easy, and it is, but for some reason it gets confusing, and when I learned this, it was confusing for me, so I speak the truth. Okay. Oh, I forgot to turn back the... There we go. Hopefully that didn't blur out. All right, now let's put an aura around the outside of this. You know why I'm having such a hard time? I bet some of you know. No glasses. That's right. No glasses. Oh, look, I can see. It's a miracle. Nancy's laughing right now. She always laughs. So what kind of a skinny aura? Or if you're from Rhode Island, it's an aura. Either way, it means the same thing. Just take your time with it. As per usual. I did something wrong here, didn't I? Oh, I was supposed to aura around this before I started, wasn't I? Well, wasn't that clever of me? We're going to have to figure it out. No mistakes, only opportunities to do things differently, which I get a lot of. And I'm learning to be chill with that. It's not easy, but you know. Now, this is a much less comfortable drawing experience for me than with the tiles. Ooh, that was a nice aura. Because of the size, but that's all right. I have never been one to journal, but I got to thinking that a journal of quotes that can really make you think, filled with arts, would not be a bad thing. And then you could or might not want to write, you know, journaling in there. I'm never been one to want to journal. Woo. We went on a journey on that one. I have got my own deckled edges going on today. So I am going to be courageous and keep drawing them. And again, this does not have to be perfect. This is for you. This is for your edification, for your enjoyment, for your learning, and for remembering this point in your artistic journey. Okay, so what am I going to have to do to make this work for us? So note to all of you, draw in your inked edge on this first, and then yeah, well, it does, you know what? Mine doesn't have to be the same as theirs. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. And of course, you guys can do as you like. So I think this is going to end up being about the same thing anyway. So, you know, do it their way, do it my way, do it your way. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to draw a loose aura around here, and I'm going to draw that behind my noom, which is the word moon backwards. Noom Repus is supermoon. Well, we want to be deckled on this side a lot. I don't know what that's about. But Maria reminded me to let my pen be in charge today, so that's what I'm going to do. It's in charge most days anyway. Well, it's not my best thing, but it's okay. And Maria also said, now in the booklet, she drew this aura over the lines in the writing lines, and made the comment that it won't matter because we're going to fill this with orbs, and by the time it's shaded, no one's going to notice. And of course, I was thinking, well, I'm going to notice. I'm always going to notice that because it's, you know, there are inked lines right through the middle of my orbs. But she was right, of course. Nobody is going to notice by the time we get done. Hers was awesome. So I am just doing these orbs in here a la perk. So they're being those aren't very good. They're overlapping each other just a bit. Let's not do any inky jerking today. But if we do, we're going to make something beautiful out of it. And we're not going to worry about it no matter what. Because it is going to be fine. So I've started a playlist for us on Spotify that you guys can listen to. It's got Simon and Garfunkel on there. And it's got 3 versions of Sound of Silence on there. So my question to you guys is, what else do you want on there? Shouldn't just be about me. But when we find good songs that we all really enjoy and appreciate, I am happy to add those as we go. Well, that one's kind of interesting looking, and I'm going to leave it that way because I can. And you know what? Maria also said that today. She said, we can do this. It's because we can. It's like, yay, Maria. She thinks we can too. If Maria says it's okay, then we can. So I was pretty stoked to find out that Sakura is coming out with a new pen. Since I didn't get this project pack, I didn't know until I watched the introduction today. They've got a 10 now, a micron 10, which is going to be size-wise between the graphic one and the 08. And they use that on this project. Of course, I don't have one of those. I do have a graphic one. My 08 is out of ink, so it should be retired, probably to the trash at this point. Remember, if they still have a little bit of ink in them, don't throw them away yet. You can use them for those little hatch lines. Even the larger nibbed ones, especially if it's worn on one side. So I think it's very cool that they put out this project pack in order to raise awareness for Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think that's really, really important because so many people all over the world suffer with these things. And we are lucky here in the U.S. that having a therapist or seeing a counselor is a normal thing. And I was reminded by Carlito the other day, by her leaving a comment saying that when you have things like postpartum in the UK, they just want you to take meds and, get over it. And, they don't believe in talking to counselors or things like that. And I find that difficult because, the UK is supposed to be ahead of us in thinking these days. So I just want everyone to know that you're not alone and that this drawing helps. It helps a lot. And I want to give a shout out today to the Carrying Place in Ontario, I believe. And that is a place that deals with some of those issues. And so I really want to give them a shout out for their awesome work. And keep coming back. Depression and anxiety are the reasons that I started tangling. And it is the reason that I am not depressed today. That's not to say I don't struggle with it sometimes, because I do. And over the last 5 years, during the fight for Mari, for custody of Mari, I went through a lot of it. But I came out the other side. thanks to having someone to talk to that was on my side. And so I want to give a shout out to Rachel today, my counselor, and thank her for coming in and being that positive voice in my head that says, now, Cindy, well, I'm really having the jerkies today. That positive voice that says, now, Cindy, is that fair to you? Because I am all about being fair to everybody, but when it comes to being fair to myself, I'm not very. I am really hard on myself, and that makes it difficult to get up some days, doesn't it, guys? So I want to encourage you guys that are hard on yourselves, and you're always feeling like you're not good enough, you don't have anything good to contribute, you just are, you're a waste of space. I don't want you to feel that way anymore. This drawing method can help with your self-esteem and your motivation and your desire to get up every day. It really can. For so many of us, we started out and we can't put our pens down. Now, you do calm down after a few years, but it takes a few years because this can be all-encompassing emotionally. And if you are trapped inside, this is a great way to spend time. You can listen to music. You can turn my voice off and listen to a book, which is my favorite way of tangling, is to have a book playing in the background, and I am absorbed between the book and what I'm drawing. I am completely absorbed in the experience, and that is my mindfulness. I'm a person that struggles with mindfulness. I've practiced it for a long time, but I found early on that I have trouble sitting still for it. And it's not that it's, after a while I just get bored. And, I'm just that way. Maybe I'm ADHD, I don't know, or ADD maybe. But it helps me to have something to do with my hands. And once I have that component where my hands are busy, then I'm a much more relaxed, less stressed place. It's one reason why I will play like solitaire on my tablet or some mindless, emotionless game. It's that I just need the break from stress and from emotion, and particularly, when Mari and I are having our disagreements, that makes it tough. Well, some of my orbs are pretty orby, and some of them are not at all. That's okay. This doesn't have to be perfect. I think I mentioned that. Okay. Well, that wasn't good. That's okay. My pen is leading the way, and that's not a good thing today. It's going off. It's got its own idea of what we're going to be doing. And we're not in agreement on that. So if you guys have not watched Maria draw today's video, you should definitely go watch. So of course that's today for me. This video will probably be out maybe Saturday or Sunday. We'll see. Either way, It'll be fun. Okay, I'll just ink this. Okay. Oh, not perfect, but okay. Oh, I really outsmarted myself, didn't I? That's okay. We are just going to ride this train all the way home. So I'm going to put another small RA in here. Narrow one. So I would love it for my Zenders to leave me your favorite quotes in comments on this. I want to know what quotes make you pause, what quotes make you stop and believe, what quotes you have held in your pocket for years because they are meaningful to you. I really want to know. Now, they can't be paragraphs, but because we may do a few more of these and we may use some of them. Depends on how difficult the setup is, I think, whether we do them or not. Okay, so I love this, and I love this, so we're going to see how that turns out. Now, I am going to ink in, as Maria did, these lines. Actually, she did that later, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and ink it. I think she drew this in gray, but again, I'm using black and it doesn't matter. She used a jelly roll. I'm using a PN. Again, doesn't matter. All right. Now, I'm going to do my lettering later. We'll see if we have time to do that together. What are we at? 45 minutes? We're doing okay. So at this point, Maria uses a metallic blue, I think, or green, metallic jelly roll. And I'm thinking that I will either use a colored jelly roll, a fine liner, or it can be anything. Or you could use a colored micron. That's not a bad plan, actually. What else do I have? And what color do I want to use? Well, I know what color I want to use, and here it is. Look. It came just in time. Purple. So I'm using purple. You use whatever color makes you happy. Okay. And so what Maria did was she just made squiggly lines down and put some sparkles in them. So I'm going to try to get mine going in a straight way, although they're jiggly. Okay. I'll stop explaining and just start drawing and you'll get it. Something like this, okay? They don't have to be the same. Just, you don't do all of them. You don't want them to be too regular. Just do what you want to do. Some nice narrow. She likes the little dots. She thinks that really dresses it up. Nothing wrong with that. You don't want to do them every single one. There we go. Now I've got the straight up and down, I think, going. So let's continue. I am still singing The Sound of Silence in my head. I hope all of y'all are too. I blame Nancy and whoever else it was with the Metallica. I listened to part of the pentatonics thing, but I didn't have time to listen to it all today. I'm sure it is good. I love pentatonics. I guess the kind of music that pentatonics does is a little more cheerful, a little more upbeat maybe than the disturbed version of that. And so I felt like, I think I felt like that style would not suit the song as well. And so I guess that's why I was hesitating. But I love pentatonics. I loved the power of the disturbed version on Sound of Silence. That was pretty awesome. All right. Now I think this is quite a bit wider than what Maria did as far as my lines, the width out. I think it's going to be fine though. No two are the same. That is fine. Just go wild and crazy with it. Ooh, I did. There is some serious snoring going on in the living room. Simba is having a nap. I miss him. He has not been on the bed for a long time. And my feet miss him. They really get cold without him. Well, I need to turn this clearly. Now, of course, I'm going to ruin my line flow. Let's see how this goes, okay? Well, okay. Now, let's get this moving. Somebody, one of you clever kids in the Zenders group did your shading with charcoal pencils on Wise. That was so beautiful. I can't remember if I commented on your thing because I was in a hurry when I was in there. But beautiful job. Beautiful job. Chalk pastels, great idea. I remember saying that I was going to try color, or might try color, and then I forgot all about it. But that was okay. It turned out great. I'm so glad you guys liked Wise. It was a pretty cool pattern. And you can envision it, right, on any tile, in any space, in any straight or curved, any type of a space. That's going to be a great choice. You can just stick it in there and have something really 3D and cool. Just a little spot or a whole big section, whatever you want to do. I think that's going to be a great addition to tiles. But I really think the best fun, the best look for that is the larger look with the shading. I think shading makes that from okay, it's interesting to wow. But then, I'm a pro shader. I'm making sloppy dots here. I really am jealous of Maria's ability to do that, the type of variated line weight that she uses. I am always just in awe of her ability to shift the pressure on the pen while drawing the same line and never lifting it. It just amazes me. if you don't or haven't watched Maria Thomas draw, you should. Just for the sheer inspiration. Even if you don't want to do the project she's doing, even if you don't want to repeat the lesson, you should watch her. The way that she thinks about drawing, all of those years of experience that she has as a calligrapher, all of the different things that she has done, you know, with her art, makes it really inspirational to watch her decision making, to watch how she handles her own little snafus. And I'll tell you now, she doesn't pay any attention to them at all. She just draws on through. All right, I'm going to take a quick break and I will be right back with you. All right, had the kiddo come home, just needed to greet him and see how his day went, which was great. He is so close to the end of school, he can taste it. He is planning on doing absolutely nothing this summer. I don't know how that's going to work for him. Of course, we still got a YMCA membership, so he can go to the pool for free. And we might be able to keep him wet this summer. We should be able to get him vaccinated soon. I know a lot of people have differing opinions about that, but I just feel like we've been vaccinating people for things like smallpox and polio and you know, diphtheria and tetanus and all of those things for years. Probably since the 1800s. So more than 100 years, probably. I think somebody left me a comment which said when vaccines started. So, you know, I completely think it's entirely possible that schools are going to require it for kids to be in school. So I think people are going to have to get over their fear of the vaccines. I think it's too bad that there is this going on, that people have, that our leadership has called into question things that are, you know, important for the public health. And I do want to comment on somebody's a point that they made in comments also, that some people are not able to take the vaccines, and I wanted to let you guys know that I understand that very, very well, that whatever issues that is going on, that it's really important to understand that that's not going to work for everybody. Okay, now we could decorate in our Noom if we wanted to. I think I'm probably going to take my purple pen and do my lettering here. Okay, so let's talk about some of the shading that they did in the project pack. So one of the cool things that I wanted to point out, whoops, I don't do well with mechanical pencils. I need my F pencil to make this work. So besides that, then we're going to shade right here. Right. And then here as well. Right. So that they said the effect is really cool. It looks like this is traveling through the edge here, which I loved. You know, anything 3D makes me happy. So where is my tortillon? Pardon? Here we go. And there's my F pencil. That's good. All right. So I will be shading more here, but to at this point, they once again encourage everybody, whether you have the materials or not, use the materials you have. Yep, 2B pencils. They're crazy. Crazy. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to lift this side up and the bottom up with shadow. And then we're also going to want to put shading along the edges of Noom. And I did pull out my Mono Zero so I can grab those little spots where I encroached. I honestly don't know how Maria Thomas manages with that 2B pencil all the time. She uses tons of graphite, and her stuff always looks amazing. It's like it never overwhelms her like it does for me. If you struggle getting too much graphite down with a 2B pencil, then you might want to check out an F pencil. You can get them with any drawing set. I think the hardest ones are the H pencils. The F pencil still has enough graphite in it to get a nice dark shade and spread well, but it's not quite so overwhelming as the 2B pencil, at least for me. I put down a lot of graphite, and so it's always better for me to choose something that's not quite so spreadable. This pencil that I'm using is the Mars Lumograph by Stedler in Germany, and this is a recommendation of my teacher, Annie Oken, at annieoken.com. All right, now let's blend this. And do I want a little shading over? I think I'm going to do the shading differently there. I think Maria did something a little bit different. So let's blend this. Give this some contouring. I do like the wiggly lines behind this. It's a very textural thing. It's a really simple, easy way to put a texture in a background without sweating it too much. And those things are important. You know, when you have a bunch of those in your toolkit, as it were, your mental kit, then you're usually pretty good off for whatever you want to do. And you end up, you know, perhaps you're doing a work that's more realistic, and you need something, a texture in a sidewalk or a building or something. This is the kind of thing you can drop in there easily. Not that I'm an expert at that kind of thing. Realistic drawing is not my thing, although I do love learning about it and practicing it. There is something about Zentangle that just solves my drawing issues, and so I am so happy in Zentangle that I don't feel the need to draw anything that isn't abstract, and that is a beautiful thing. Now, I can't remember who it was that was asking about, maybe it was Jackie, asking about that graphite shine. So from where I'm sitting right now, this is really, really shiny. but I don't think it looks like that to you guys. But when you pull the page away from the light like that, you see just how dark and dynamic your shading can look in the right light. So of course, the best recommendation for photographing your work is outdoors in natural light. Then you're not going to have some of those issues. This is my, for those of you who are new, this is my Tombow Mono Zero Elastomer Eraser. This is a great thing for tanglers because they get in all of those spots on our tiny little tiles. All right, now let me blend this out over here. Turn this a little bit. So I love working in my sketch pad, but I'm constantly turning it around. So it doesn't make the best, work for what I do here on camera. All right, so let's do this. Just sort of take it from that line and just stroke it on down around the edge there. And here. And then you can take your eraser, if you have a molded eraser, a kneaded eraser, or one of these babies, or the edge of a regular pencil eraser. You can keep your edges clean. Yeah, and this makes it look like it's lifted up, right? Now, well, we'll talk about that some other time. I don't want to overwhelm anybody, including me. So now on the bottom of this, I want to put some shading too. That'll be darkest around this corner, I think. Look at me shading on the other side. That's only because I'm going to get to this side still. All right. Maybe I'll do that. I really think these two sides are all it should need. Remember, if you use your tortillon in little circles, that can really help you get a smooth blend. Remember, the goal is to not have these sharp lines. Not have an edge of your shading like I do here. Just keep smoothing it out until you've got a nice smooth blend. Don't get in a rush. All right, I think I can't decide if I'm going to shade more on that side or not. But for now, I'm going to leave this the way it is. So then for the inking on this, let's see what time it is. Now we're getting close on our time limit. So what I'm going to do is put that in on my own. Maybe with my purple pen, maybe not. And in the meantime, I am going to grab my PN again. And I'm going to go over this outer edge. Let's see if I can get this in the picture. With a nice dark line. Okay. Over here. Now this is where they used the number 10 micron that's new, was along this border, and I think around the edge of this one. Of course I don't have that, and so that's okay. I'm going to use what I've got. I'm not trying to match what they did exactly. And the surface I'm working on is probably quite a bit larger than the small book that they were working on. But I didn't want to measure. So here we are. Oh yeah, I remember what Maria did with this now. We definitely need to add that. It's probably a little bit crazier than I should have put, but that's okay. So I am going to take my purple 01 because I can, right? And I'm going to do Maria's little lace edge thing that she does. She puts these little cursive E's all along the edge, right? So like this. And she was so funny in the video. She was going, E. I love that lady. She is awesome. So cursive E's, little loops. Sorry, I had to change my head position so I could see. By putting that thick line down, we've given this something to sit on that's not going to show any bottoms, right? Just these little loops. Cool, right? And really easy too. All right, now to repeat. See if I can go upside down. We'll try. It's not quite as flowy, but I have to focus more, so they're probably going to be neater. Well, Cindy, come on, honey, you can do it. And so can y'all. If I can do it, y'all can do it too. With my crazy shaking and my weird stuff that I do, if I can do this, so can y'all. So stop telling yourself you can't. That doesn't help anybody, especially you. Tell yourself that you can, because you can. You can. I'm going to start on this and see what happens. It turned out all right. And you could use like a Verithin or something to shade in with whatever color you used if you want. That will be interesting. So let me get this writing in here, the lettering in. So I just go over it the normal way with the normal cursive first. And then I go back in and put my extra bit. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. Well, the lettering makes me a little bit sad, but it'll be all right. All right, now. So in order to do the next part, I need, for shading, I need to have this inked and all of this pencil off. So I'm going to change colors and use my black PN for the takes word. Again, I am not an expert at lettering. I don't know what I'm doing. This is just how I do it. And you may use your own judgment as far as whether you do it the same as me or not. All right. Now, I may or may not ink these little bits, but I'm going to finish up first. I'll switch back to my purple pen because I can. Okay. And I'm going to draw in my extra bits again. Remember, each place where your stroke is moving down, that's where you want that little extra bit of line. Okay, so and then this is up. I don't know how effective that's going to be, but that's fine. And then over here, okay. So now I'm going to come in through here and erase my pencil lines. I should use a bigger eraser for this. It'll take too long this way. Of course, it might take me that long to find another eraser, so... Nope, wrong one. Use that sad one I used yesterday. They do not make school pencils the same way anymore, I tell you. Now, even though it sounds like I'm really scrubbing hard, I am not. I forgot to cross a T there, it looks like. Now, normally some of this pencil would not bother me, but since I'm going to be shading through here, I want to make sure that I have on here what I want. Okay, so this is enough to do that. And now I need a nice dirty tortillon. And if it's not dirty enough for you, just put a get some more, put down some graphite on an extra sheet or wherever, and roll your tortillon around in there and get it nice and dirty. And then what we're going to do is we're going to follow this line straight through. Right, with just the pencil that's on the tortillon, just using that amount of graphite. Okay, and then here again, shouldn't have tried so hard to get that off, huh? Here we are. Oh, I'm so funny sometimes, guys. So funny. Of course, Mari doesn't think so. He thinks I'm mean. That's okay, though. We've talked about this. Being the mean mom is part of my job. So right there. Yeah. Isn't this cool? I love it. So now, the last place to shade, I think she did down here along her little E's. And she put a nice dark shade down here. All right, let's blend this. Smooth my line out of here a little bit. Yay! All right. The only thing I have left over here is to ink in H. Matisse. Here. All right. This is fun. This is fun. I like it. Creativity does take courage, guys. It takes a lot of courage to post your art so that others can see. Those of you in the Facebook group, I commend you for having the courage to share your stories with each other, to share your art with each other and me. And I really, really appreciate the courage that you guys are showing in group. So, or on Instagram for that matter. So if you guys are looking for me out there, Facebook group, Cindy's Zenders, right? And you got to spell my name right, Cyndee, Cindy's Zenders. And also on Instagram, I am at The Tireless Tangler, right? On Facebook, The Tireless Tangler. And here on YouTube, also The Tireless Tangler. There's a lot of tireless tangling going on here. Thank God I'm not doing it by myself. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being courageous with your art. I am going to see you hopefully tomorrow. And I'm so excited I got a video done. Yay! All right, guys. I'll see you soon.